Hello everyone, it's going to be a fairly short update video just for today, just to talk about what content is going to be coming out and everything that's going to be going on with the channel, what has been going on with it, and where we're going to be going from here. So the first thing I want to talk about is what I'm going to be doing Fallout-wise. I don't know if you've seen it on Twitter or on YouTube, but I posted a video regarding, I made a post. A poll on Twitter and then a post on the community section of my channel regarding a video that's going to be a bit of a collage of different areas that are either creepy or supernatural in nature. So far we have, let me just check my list, we have the Fog Mother, Listening Post Bravo, the Grandchester Mystery Mansion, Dunwich Borders, Hallucinogen Inc., the Boston Mayoral Shelter, don't know about that one but we'll see, Pickman's Gallery, the Cabots, and I think the Fen Street Sewer as well. As you've already probably figured out, or maybe some of you will be aware, I've covered, I think, all of those areas to some degree before. It can't really be helped. I have done a lot of videos on Fallout 4, and eventually, if I'm going to be going over groups of areas or areas with a similar theme, there's going to be overlap. That isn't to say future content is going to be rehashed stuff, but I feel like given it's been about 5 years since I've regularly uploaded, and more than 5 years since I've covered any of these areas, putting them together in an area, maybe coming at it from a different point of view, summarising or glossing over some of the things that people didn't find as interesting, it should be a bit of a new take on the matter. I don't know if I'll do it all in one video, because I don't know how long it will actually take to A, make this video, and B, how long it'll be. There's going to be at least, 8 areas, give or take, and even summarising them, if I only did them for 5 minutes each, that would be a 40-minute long video. I'm sure some of them will run longer than that, and if that's the case, the video might be well over an hour. I might break it down into 1 and 2 parts then, I'll have to see. So I'm going to start working on that after I've finalised what areas we could cover. To that end, if you've got any ideas, you could leave them in the comments section here. However, given that I get so many comments, and given I've got a bit of a burnout of reading comments after what's happened over the past 2 months, it might be better if you left them on either A, the current community posts that I've made 3 in the past month or so, or month and a half, or over on Twitter, because there's fewer comments, so the likelihood that I'll actually see yours and be able to add it to the list, or even engage with you, to see what exactly it is about the area you think I should talk about, is a lot higher. So that's just about that area. The next video I will be making is going to be on the Nuka-Cola bottling plants, World of Refreshment, and then beverages, just all that's mixed together. That's all in one area in Nuka World. I haven't really covered a lot of the deeper lore for this place and of some of the areas, and I've also skipped out stuff in Far Harbor. So I think going back and covering some of the things that I've left to the wayside is a good idea. So I'm going to do the bottling plant first. I'm hoping to have that video out first week of December, but it might be slightly later or slightly earlier depending on how everything in my personal life lines up. But I'm hoping to get that out as soon as possible. After that, as always, I am more than open to suggestions for future video ideas. I'm thinking about maybe updating my Mysterious Stranger video. As you know, I covered the topic for 3 in New Vegas, but I never covered 4. I think the Epic Nate's got a pretty good video on it, who's another excellent Fallout YouTuber that if you haven't been watching, you definitely should be. He's got a video on it. I've seen parts of it, I haven't watched the whole thing, so I don't know what I will make my own one on, because I don't just want to completely rehash my previous video. And I need to see just how much is added in with Fallout 4. I know there's the whole thing of Nick's actually looking for the Mysterious Stranger, so they're actually a real individual, all the theories around the links to the Institute, etc, etc. So we'll see. Something next to consider is possibly covering the vaults that I haven't done. I don't think I've done 114 or Vault 95. Covering the topics of Robobrains and everything with the first piece of DLC that came out for Fallout regarding the emergence of robo-brains in the Commonwealth and everything around that. I haven't covered... I've actually wanted to cover immortality concepts or longevity concepts for a while in Fallout 4, and even 3 in New Vegas. You know, the forced ghoulification process, transplanting your brain into various devices, the stuff going on with Project Cobol in Nuka Worlds, which I've played and done, but I never actually made any videos on it, so that's also something else I could explore. What else? There was some other... I suppose there's also the virtual reality machines in Fallout 3. Yeah, there's a few options there, so, you know, again, if you like that idea, by all means, say you like it, and I can bring it under more direct consideration. If you don't, then we won't worry about it. So we have a few ideas, and if you have more areas you'd like to see covered, maybe a place with decent terminal entries and holotapes, or interesting skeletal positions or items lying around that I haven't covered, by all means, tell me about them. Another thing I've been considering for a while, and I've talked about it before, I'm pretty sure I've tweeted out a lot, is Control. An excellent game made by Remedy, the same makers of Alan Wake, that's actually linked to Alan Wake. It's a game with an extremely large amount of lore in it, both from just collectible items, in-game conversations, cutscenes that you can replay, the environmental storytelling, things put on whiteboards in all the labs. It's pretty much the SCP, or the closest game to an SCP game that we've got, in my opinion, if you're familiar with that fandom. And I think I've talked about doing videos on it before, but I think it's time to actually start that. I've played through it about maybe 4 or 5 times on PS4, so I'm going to get it in PC and then get through that, the DLCs, and then start building up a backlog of footage that I can then use to start making videos of. So if there's any particular areas in that game that you'd like to see covered, if you're a fan of it, by all means, leave a comment. Again, Twitter or community is probably better, but I will endeavour to make an attempt to try read through the comments on YouTube. I do plan more Elden Ring content. I've had 2 planned for a while now. The Dominula Windmill Village, I always mispronounce that, and the wormfaces, to a creature and an area pretty close in proximity to each other in the Altus Plateau region of the Lands Between in Elden Ring. Some people speculated I'm not going to stop making videos on Elden Ring just because of the recent nastiness around the gatekeeping in the community, or gatekeeping by specific individuals in the community. I'm sure the majority of the community just likes to talk about lore and then make videos about the lore, and they don't try and claim that anybody who does a similar thing is plagiarizing from them. As far as I'm concerned, I've put all that to rest. I posted screenshots of my timestamp files. I made a very in-depth video of all of my files and timestamps. I showed that I hadn't faked them, as he'd claimed. And yeah, I don't really know what else there is to say. The timestamps of the file with the audio that contains the information that I supposedly stole was recorded before my tweet saying I was almost finished editing it. And then that tweet occurred between that and the final file where the editing was finished. So I have tweets to back up those timestamps as well. Neither of those individuals has really talked about it since then. Erden Lore went silent for a complete month. Never apologised, never brought it up again. Doesn't really surprise me given how they've acted thus far. Ziostorm eventually put the video private, though they only did so after they admitted it was getting no views or attention, so that's a bit of an empty gesture to be perfectly frank. And the damage was already done. I've been dealing with comments from people ranging from calling me a thief to frankly more disgusting things that thankfully for the most part were auto-flagged by YouTube, so nobody else has really had to read those. I've had to read them. That's been, you know, fucking fantastic to do. But overall, yeah, that wasn't a fun experience. I doubt either of them are ever going to acknowledge what they did was wrong, or apologise. Erden hasn't mentioned it, and Ziostorm seems to think he was just giving Erden a platform and reporting on the news, so yeah, I think that's probably where it's going to end there. Apart from those 3 concepts. The only thing to talk about, I guess, is where I've been. A lot's been going on in my life. I took a break primarily because of COVID, and I never really got back into things. I know that affected a lot of people, so using that as an excuse isn't much of one. A lot of people were affected far worse than I was. I did get COVID, fucking more than once for Christ's sake, and it was pretty bad every time, but that wasn't why I was out the entire time. That only affected me a few weeks apiece. Overall, it was a lack of motivation. My doctoral work was taking up a lot of my time, and I didn't really have a lot of energy when I was getting home from it. That's all wound down now. I'm pretty much finished. There's nothing else to do. So over the next few months, I will officially be a doctor, which will be fantastic in my field of study. And then after that, we'll see. But that's just taking up a lot of my time. And hopefully I have a lot more free time now, so I can spend more time on the channel. I'm going to be going back through and maybe tweaking a lot of titles and thumbnails, descriptions and tags. I think it's pretty clear the way I present my information and my videos is quite outdated. I don't want to say make them more clickbaity, but making them more engaging to individuals that are going to be on mobile, that are going to be on consoles, that aren't going to have, you know, the descriptions below the videos to view, that aren't going to be looking at it on a massive screen so they can see everything. They're going to be just be saying what thumbnail pops out the most. So if you see any changes, that's why. I think all of that information's pretty outdated, and it's about time that I put in the effort to finally go and make it pop a bit more. So I'll be sorting that over the next few weeks or months. I don't really know what else there is to talk about. Just I wanted to make a brief video to explain to you what content is going to be coming out, what you can expect from the channel. A brief explanation of where I've been. I mean, it's really just I wasn't working on videos. When I made posts or tweets saying I was working on them, I was at the time. And then life just got in the way, or other things happened, and I kind of fell to the wayside. I apologize for that. I know you subscribe to me for content, and just kind of leaving you on the hook isn't particularly... It's not a nice thing to do. False promises are a shitty thing to give to somebody. And I don't want this to be another one. So I'm going to have more videos out for you very soon. And I hope you will be patient and bear with me then. Until then. I know a lot of you have been so far, but I would ask just for a bit more of your patience, and then I'll have more content out soon. And hopefully the next time you hear my voice, it will be in a video. And until then, I hope you all stay safe, happy and healthy. And goodbye.